Jnanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Yandam, welcoming you live to the Cooking Up Bhakti Bhakshastra from Bangalore Adinam in Vididi. So this morning Swamiji was mentioning in the satsang, he was talking, he expanded on the Atma Tattva and how we are integrated, and he wanted us to basically identify what are we integrated with, and once we do that, realigning ourselves to what we want to be integrated with. So it was basically about integrity and alignment. And one thing that automatically came to my mind regarding food um, means that once we start to engage ourselves in the process of raising our consciousness and spirituality, and dropping the inadequate thought currents or incomplete thought currents to entertain thought currents that will raise us, is food is basically a dimension, is part of this alignment. How the food affects the body and facilitates the the body to capture higher frequencies of consciousness, or developing subtle grooves in the brain. It's important also, especially if we get initiated by Swamiji. Swamiji is reviving a lot of things regarding the Vedagamic tradition in Hinduism, and food is a big part of it. So aligning ourselves to whatever we are authentically rediscovering and translating in English and putting available out there, aligning ourselves to that is definitely a way for us to integrate ourselves to the right things. What do you think, Maharaj?
Yeah. And so so one of the things we also do is actually mentioned in one of the earlier programs. One of the things we do is we go through our morning routine before having breakfast each morning. So so also food is important, but like even mentioned earlier that even with Nirahara Samyama, so Swamiji gives us the experience that food is not necessary, but if you're going to take food, that it should be used like a medicine. And so the Bhagavad Shastra and the Vedic system, then what kind of food you take and when you take it, and that you make sure that the energy that food gives you, you're using for causing yourself and others to live as super conscious beings. And so also in morning kirtan, and using the energy to solidify and bolt the initiation into your biomemory. So that was some of the experience having this morning, because to this point we still have not had breakfast. And uh, so through the kirtan, that's one more of the components of your lifestyle, along with food, the morning routine. So all these different things in different ways to make sure that you're aligned to keeping the body healthy and keeping yourself in a space of completion, and also making that you use all of your energies towards the highest purpose.
One thing for me that broke pretty rapidly when I went to Inner Awakening and I came to the Adinam afterwards was my understanding of how food, uh, how my the relationship between my body and food. Out there, we hear a lot of things, and what I basically realized very quickly after meeting Swamiji is that everything's wrong. It's just not true. Whatever you do, like for example, if you don't have the first thing you should have in the morning is breakfast or something like that, like Maharaj was just sharing. It is not true, actually, not at all. There's a lot of myths and wrong understanding about food and how energy functions and how food rejuvenates the energy and how food body, and a lot of these things should be experienced. I mean, everybody should experience. Everybody should have that kind of shattering realization that it is not what you think it is, and especially during the Nira Rasamyama, the one of the big realizations we have is, and that Swamiji shares, is that actually we are taught that when we have this pain in the stomach, that this is hunger, and you should feed yourself very quickly when that happens. And the first thing we learn is that actually this is not true. Actually, hunger is felt in the throat. Now I don't know how many people can say that when they're hungry they're feeling it in the throat, but I've never met anybody saying that. So Sanji was saying yogis, hunger is felt in the throat. What is felt in the stomach is actually anger. And when we feed upon having this experience in the stomach, what we do is we basically strengthen the pattern of anger. And this goes on for many years, and we don't realize. There's a lot of uh, violent thought currents that are constantly enriched and supported but when we eat food from the wrong context, like all this chewing and all that, is all different ways for us to kind of exercise the violence that we carry within. And when we start to stop responding to that belief that hunger is felt in the stomach, then a lot of things actually shift. For me, I remember after starting doing Nirara Sanima and coming back here and eating after doing the morning routine and all that, a lot of hours of sleep were reduced. I mean, I used to sleep a lot, and very quickly I was able to adapt to 4 hours of sleep and something like that. And that was pretty interesting, and I thought that was a pretty major breakthrough. Yeah, regarding what we are taught and what we believe.
Um, yeah. So the food, yeah, exactly. Like one of the things is, yeah, a lot of times we eat out of powerlessness. Like if you think you're tired, then you eat, or if you think you have no energy, then you eat. Yeah. Or if you're upset, then you go and eat. So yeah, it's like Swamiji said, like all patterns are directly or indirectly related to food, and so yeah, that's one of the things that I found also interesting is because there'll be a lot of different spices in the food that we're having from Bhagya Shastra, and so there'll be a lot of different unexpected tastes and different kind of vegetables and different ways of combining things, so you get a lot of different flavors. So when you're eating, sometimes you won't know what to expect. Like there's a lot of like red chili used also, so there will be usually a lot more heat. So for me, it makes me kind of a lot more aware of what I'm eating because there's so many different flavors, and so then I think more about how these things are impacting me and if I need to be eating so much or why I'm eating or when I'm eating and like for what purpose I'm eating. So yeah.
One thing that Swamiji shared also regarding that very interesting fact regarding red chilies. He said that somehow we associate that the high peppers or the chilies to the reasons or the cause for the small ulcers that we develop in the stomach and the intestine. And actually, Swamiji says it's not true. Actually, it's the plastic food which is responsible for that. Actually, chilies or spices, what they do is they stimulate the glands in the mouth that produce the saliva to increase the amount of saliva that is generated, and that saliva facilitates the digestion. So actually, spices are very important. So especially if we know how to use them, then it's a big asset. Also, regarding what the Maharaj mentioned regarding the powerlessness. See, basically, when we start to engage ourselves in spiritual practice and raising our frequencies, we want to basically identify the thought currents we're stuck in and shift out of them. But the thing is that with food, food will kind of, whenever you get stuck in a thought current which is not making you experience bliss, automatically the idea that food, oh, I want food, it would be nice if I had this, or it wouldn't be nice if I had that, food will distract you and it won't allow you to actually bring awareness and really identify what thought current is going through your space, and then afterwards getting rid of it. So actually, yeah, we can say that when you don't know how to use food, food can actually be hindrance for your spiritual growth, and that is also something that we need to be aware of. So at least if we have that gap, if you have that, you're caught in some powerlessness, and then you automatically want to go for food. If you stop yourself at that moment and you realize what is going on, that's already like a first step towards spiritual growth and going towards that super conscious being state.
Exactly. And so that's what I also found, like why it's so important and needed to do causing, because uh, when you cause someone else's reality, like when someone has some limiting cognition and you help bring them beyond that cognition, then you get the same uh, conscious expansion. And so even if you're feeling, even if you're feeling like you need to eat or you need to sleep, if you go into the space of listening to someone and you help them have a conscious breakthrough, you also have a conscious breakthrough. So that's what. So that's when like, the whole system with Swamiji is like that kind of a thing. Like, why are you eating? And what are you eating? What are you doing actually? And so when we're eating this food that is designed for enlightenment and designed to support the functioning of your body for the purpose of enlightenment, then that I also feel it's like it gives you an awareness that there's certain kinds of food that like provide certain kind of support for your body. But with that awareness, it also shows you really how much energy you can get from such small amounts of food. And when you have like so many, like the 6 different uh,
Tastes.
tastes and all the different sources of, I mean, protein and whatnot, there'd be liquid foods and like half liquid foods and solid foods, and so many different kinds of food, even at one meal, and fruits and whatnot, and then drinking water or whatever you're drinking, and so all these things will give you a little bit more awareness of how it makes you feel, and so that's what I really like is that whenever we're eating, we have so many different choices, and so you can really kind of just understand, like if you're doing causing, then I don't need to fill my stomach so that I'll sleep afterwards. But I just want a little something to drink. I want a small piece of this, that, and this, and just something to just keep my body healthy and happy. So that's kind of one of the. That's what I find the food from Shastra supports the causing, because it's not just one or two or three items at each meal, but it's really a lot of different choices. So you won't feel like, oh, I only have potatoes, so I have to eat a lot of potatoes. Like there's many different choices, and if you're doing causing and you want to stay alert and in the space of listening, you can just choose a few of the items that you like, that you feel like will be supportive of you in that moment. Even if it's like half a chili, you have half a chili or whatever it is, and just enough to keep you in the space of listening. So you're not like you haven't eaten and you're having difficulty focus, you have headache and you're getting sleepy or whatever. Just enough to kind of perk you up a little bit and just keep you awake and able to listen.
Yeah, something that Samji mentioned recently in the satsang is that for him, the way he relates to food, he says, I'm not the stomach just coming here to fill itself and just come on." He says, if I maintain the body, it is for being able to interacting with you guys. So the context is completely different. So his purpose is to interact, because for that interaction to happen smoothly, then a certain kind of maintenance of the body is required. But he says like I do not at all associate myself with this body. Actually, for me, this body is completely empty. There's nothing. But when we think about us, I mean, we don't have that. We don't relate to our bodies in the same way. And I thought that was a pretty interesting and expansive uh, way of relating to the body itself. So there's a lot. Uh, there's a lot about all this body and food science which is available in the Vedic tradition. Yogis, the yoga sampradaya will have a lot to say about it, especially because for them maintaining the body is a very important thing for their routine. And so yeah, there's a lot of things that are related to food, and it's very important actually. It's something that should not be missed. Like Sanjay was saying, listen to some Upanishads after having Sadhvik food, and listening to some Upanishads after having pizzas and burgers. Trust me, you will not understand the same thing. So, especially when it comes to these subtle truths, which have different layers and can be understood in different ways, you want to be light in such a way that you can actually grasp the highest understanding out of it. So, yes, Bhagshastra is important. Otherwise, Sarashiva would not have written so many books and so many verses about it. So he did spend some time with that. So that there's definitely something very important about all this.
Yeah, exactly. So, and what I really found interesting is all the different ways of getting energy. So, food is one way, but there's many other ways, like the morning routine and yoga, puja, kirtan, satsang, and causing is an amazing thing. Even if you feel down, frustrated, unable to focus, you just put yourself in the space of allowing someone else to have a conscious expansion. Do your best to stay in the space of listening, and when that expansion happens, you get the same benefits. So, just having the Bhagavad Shastra and the food is designed to be used as a medicine to support your functioning instead of just kind of filling the stomach. All the things in our lifestyle is like just supporting you to have the conscious breakthrough.
All right. So with this, I think we'll be leaving you guys for today. We'll be closing the Purna mantra. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sadguru Padukan Namastu Om Nitya